Our next guest is the author of a number of books. I met him a few years ago when The Source visited a reading by Nicole Moore, his co-writer for the story of her attack by a shark. His latest gathers 32 inspiring stories of people who have taken risks to be successful. Peter Jennings, why release Pushing the Boundaries right now in 2021?
Well, Mike, that's a great question, and great to see you again, by the way. I think that we're living in a time of COVID-inspired reluctance for people to get out and do things, and I think it's a time that people are spending a little bit more inwardly looking at their own lives. And I guess the message that I want to communicate with Pushing the Boundaries is that you can overcome the fear of change and enhance your life. And I think if people read about the 32 people that I've interviewed in the book, they'll be inspired, I hope, to enhance their own lives. So I think it's very timely.
Looking at the list of some of the people that you interview, Nick Wallenda, Niagara connection there. Also George Cohen, the president of McDonald's Canada, creator of McDonald's Canada, really. You also interviewed Tommy Hilfiger and Christian McBride, one of my favorite jazz artists. A lot of big names. But you also interview a local man, Donald Zeraldo. Why Donald?
Well, I think of Donald as the godfather of the wine industry in Canada. And Mike, if you think about it, back in the day, he and Carl Kaiser got together and agreed that Canadian wines really weren't very drinkable. Now, most people would just say, fine, I'm going to go out and buy some French wines or California wines, whatever. But these guys, particularly Donald, said, no, we're going to start a winery. And indeed, Skilled in Wines, which of course you're familiar with, is the brainchild. They also brought ice wine into its huge worldwide acceptance. So Donald very much has broken boundaries in the business world. Now, like many of the people I interviewed, he doesn't walk around saying, hey, I push boundaries. I mean, these people tend to think this is just what I do. It's the way I am.
They all took risks. Is there anybody among the 32 that really stands out in your mind as maybe the biggest risk taker?
Well, wow. Yeah, that's kind of like asking who's your favorite child. One of the guys who stands out would be Alex Lewis from England. He was kind of a lazy-about guy who owned a pub with his girlfriend in England, and he'd spend all day just getting hammered with the boys in the pub. He had a 3-year-old son, but he was not a good parent, a good father, good whatever. One day he came down with what he thought was a cold. It turned out to be a terrible, pernicious disease that ate away at his body. And today he has no arms, no legs. It took away most of his face to the point where his son was frightened to even see him. And this guy, well, if you read the book, you'll be amazed at the way his whole mind has changed. And his whole mission now is to help people with disabilities. He's done a total 360 in his life. And so he would have to stand out as one of the most amazing people I interviewed.
You interviewed all 32 of the subjects in this book. How long did it take you to get this all together?
It was about 3 years, a lot of research, a lot of time taken to break through and find the people. And then a lot of them had books, so I make it my business to read their book first. And so, 3 years.
If you ever do a volume 2, do you have a wish list for people you'd like to include?
Mikhail Gorbachev, for sure. He was one I really wanted to get because perestroika and glasnost talk about pushing the boundaries, but I could not break through to him. So he would certainly be on the list of people I would try to get if I had more time.
Peter, thank you for joining us. And the book is called Pushing the Boundaries, How to Get More Out of Life. It's available at local bookstores, at Amazon and Indigo, and also at pushingtheboundaries.life, the website. Thanks for joining us.
Indeed. Thank you, Mike. Good to see you again. Take care.